having the opposite effect of what you want. Every big name in show business came out for Kamala Harris, from Oprah to Clooney to Beyonce, and she lost every swing state. A survey of Ohio voters found Taylor Swift's endorsement actually had a negative impact, with 24% saying it made them less enthusiastic about her as a candidate.
Come on.
Read the room, Democrats. Al Pacino in The Godfather, Godfather 2, Serpico, Scarface, Dog Day Afternoon. I could go on. Crickets. Then he plays a blind guy who screams hoo-ha and welcome to the winner's circle. It's like honoring Michael Jordan for when he played baseball. But you know why he won that one. Blind guy. I mean, afflictions win. Oscar has been given to so many people with diseases, it should wear a hospital.
Bill Maher just went on live TV and completely tore into woke Hollywood, and he didn't hold anything back. This is a guy who's spent decades inside the entertainment system, mixing with the biggest names and playing along with the industry rules, and now he's openly challenging the very culture he once stood in the middle of. No soft talk, no careful wording, just straight criticism aimed directly at Hollywood itself. So if you want to see the full moment everyone's reacting to, hit subscribe and stay tuned, because this one is getting attention for a reason.
According to the internet, what I did with my comments at the Globes was laugh, scoff, mock, take a dig at, and refuse to join Golden Globes activism. Golden Globes activism? Oh, you mean the activism of fixing a pin to my suit? I'm sorry, it clashed with my keffiyeh. I hope I didn't spoil the perfect record of pins and ribbons solving all the world's problems. I mean, you can't name a problem from guns to AIDS to bullying to breast cancer that still exists after people wore a ribbon for it. Except all of them.
Ma came in swinging, and his first target was Hollywood's obsession with performative activism. In his view, too many celebrities treat causes like accessories for the red carpet, pins, ribbons, and symbolic outfits that look meaningful on camera but don't actually change anything. He calls it out as pure performance, more like theater than real commitment. According to him, these moments often end the same way: a quick pose for the headlines, a wave of attention, and then a return to ultra-luxury lifestyles completely untouched by the issues they claim to support. His point is blunt. Awareness without action isn't activism at all. It's just carefully staged emotion with better lighting.
3 years ago, everybody was all into Ukrainian flags. What happened to that? Another cause tossed into the junk drawer with yesterday's choke collar? Get out of here with your virtue-signaling body ornaments. They're just crucifixes for liberals. Because every time I see one, I think, Jesus Christ. But, you know, congratulations for raising awareness. The awareness you really care about, which is how wonderful you are.
And to put it bluntly, he argues that a lot of these causes end up functioning more like billboards for celebrity egos than genuine efforts to create change. In his view, Hollywood often puts the individual ahead of the issue itself, where the spotlight matters more than the solution. A trending hashtag, a carefully crafted emotional post, or a symbolic outfit becomes enough to signal moral virtue and win public praise. He also points out that there's an incentive structure behind it. The more loudly someone performs their concern, the more attention, opportunities, and financial gain tend to follow. In that sense, what's presented as compassion starts to look more like personal branding, polished for cameras, powerful in speeches, but with very little real-world impact for the people the causes are supposed to help.
Gervais once told the award show crowd, "Don't use it as a platform to make a political speech. You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world." And of course, this is where celebrities say, "How dare you? We're citizens with just as much right to speak out." Agreed, you absolutely do. I'm just saying, don't.
Now, to be fair, celebrities absolutely have the right to speak their minds. Free speech doesn't come with an exception clause for actors. But the argument being made is about perspective. Many of them live in a tightly controlled world built on privilege, constant validation, and curated environments where they're rarely exposed to everyday struggles. Their reality is often far removed from things like budgeting for groceries, worrying about rent, or dealing with the pressures most people face daily. The criticism is that when their worldview is shaped primarily through social media, where outrage spreads faster than nuance, it can lead to very confident opinions that aren't always deeply informed. So when a movie star starts delivering lectures about real-world issues, it can sometimes feel less like grounded insight and more like repeating talking points picked up online, polished for an audience, but lacking real depth or lived experience.
The opposite effect of what you want. Every big name in show business came out for Kamala Harris, from Oprah to Clooney to Beyonce, and she lost every swing state. A survey of Ohio voters found Taylor Swift's endorsement actually had a negative impact, with 24% saying it made them less enthusiastic about her as a candidate. Come on. Read the room, Democrat.
And this is where Maher really drives the point home. Celebrities, in his view, often overestimate how much political influence they actually have. They tend to treat the endorsements like they carry real weight with the public, almost like a guaranteed boost for a candidate. But reality doesn't always match that confidence. High-profile figures can line up behind a campaign, but it doesn't automatically translate into voter support or electoral outcomes. The argument being made is that audiences don't just follow fame blindly. Many voters see wealthy, highly insulated celebrities speaking from glamorous platforms and feel disconnected from their lived experience. So instead of being persuaded, some may even react in the opposite direction. In the end, the takeaway is simple. Celebrity status doesn't automatically equal political credibility, and influence in entertainment doesn't always carry over into real-world trust at the ballot box.
Reds lost to Chariots of Fire. Shawshank Redemption lost to Forrest Gump. Some of the most iconic directors of all time. Hitchcock, Kubrick, Tarantino, Kurosawa, Bergman, Fellini, Rob Reiner have 0 wins for Best Director. The Oscars should give out a new award, the Kanye West I'ma Let You Finish Award. Yeah, just put Kanye in the audience every year to jump up and say, "I'm gonna let you finish, but Shawshank is one of the greatest movies of all time." And the acting awards, no better. They're constantly giving out the make-up for a snub Oscar when an actor gets one because the Academy stepped on its the first 10 times the guy should have won.
Then Maher shifts his focus to the Oscars, and this is where his critique really hits harder. He argues that award shows have moved away from actually celebrating film and have turned into something closer to cultural messaging events. In his view, the choices of winners and nominees often feel less about what audiences connect with or what truly stands out artistically, and more about fitting certain industry narratives. As a result, viewers are left confused when popular or widely praised films get ignored, while others they've barely heard of walk away with the biggest awards. Over time, he suggests, this creates a growing gap between Hollywood and the audience, slowly eroding trust. What used to be seen as a mark of artistic excellence now feels, to critics like him, more like a polished stage for signaling, where the meaning behind the win matters more than the art at sea.
In The Godfather, Godfather 2, Serpico, Scarface, Dog Day Afternoon, I could go on, crickets. Then he plays a blind guy who screams hoo-ha and welcome to the winner's circle. It's like honoring Michael Jordan for when he played baseball. But you know why he won that one. Blind guy. I mean, afflictions win. Oscar has been given to so many people with diseases, it should wear a hospital gown.
This, he argues, is the deeper problem in Hollywood today. In his view, awards are no longer decided purely by performance or artistic excellence, but are increasingly influenced by external pressures and expectations about what the industry feels it should reward. As a result, genuinely outstanding acting and strong films can get pushed aside in favor of safer choices that fit the cultural mood of the moment. He also points to what he sees as a pattern where actors sometimes receive awards years later for weaker performances, which feels less like a true recognition of their best work and more like a delayed correction. By then, the moment that truly deserved recognition is already gone. In his framing, this shift weakens the original purpose of awards and turns them into something shaped more by timing and optics than by honest appreciation of great acting.
Hollywood, never say the R word, but if you play it in a movie, they will give you a trophy. And the Academy is also constantly giving it to an actor when they're really giving it to the character the actor played. Not that these weren't all fine performances, but if you, as a nominee, are up against someone who played Gandhi, or Lincoln, or Aaron Brockovich, or Norma Ray, or Ray Charles, or Harvey Milk, or the guy in Philadelphia, or the dude at the Dallas Buyers Club, just stay home. It was never gonna happen.
Maher delivers a blunt observation that many film fans have quietly pointed out for years. Certain types of roles tend to dominate award seasons. In his view, there's a clear pattern where portrayals of real-life figures or visibly suffering characters often get the strongest recognition. It creates a perception that transformation, illness, or historical biopics are especially favored, sometimes overshadowing equally strong performances in less dramatic or more original roles. He argues that this can make the awards feel predictable, almost formula-driven, where certain types of performances are seen as more award-worthy than others. As a result, critics like him suggest that originality can end up taking a back seat to familiarity, raising the question of whether the focus is still purely on artistic excellence or on a narrower set of roles that reliably attract attention.
So stay home if you're up against someone who, we suspect might not be up for an award again, or just up again. Art Carney in Harry and Tonto beat Jack Nicholson in Chinatown, John Wayne in True Grit, Henry Fonda, Jack Palance. I call this the Grandpa's Last Christmas Award. And it's always a lot. The only thing the Academy prizes more than this is if an actor makes the ultimate sacrifice, gaining weight. Or losing weight. Or even, dare I say it, making themselves
And he doesn't hold back on the obsession with physical transformations either. In his view, Hollywood tends to overvalue the dramatic weight changes actors go through for roles, treating extreme dieting or rapid muscle gain as a shortcut to prestige. Suddenly, it's labeled as dedication or serious craft, when critics like him see it more as a physical stunt than proof of deeper acting ability. He contrasts that with quieter performances that rely on emotional depth and subtlety, arguing those often don't get the same level of attention if they lack that visible before and after transformation. In his framing, this creates a skewed reward system where what an actor looks like for a role can overshadow how convincingly they actually perform it, raising the broader question of whether recognition is going to true artistry or just the most visually dramatic effort.
Seriously, by this standard, you couldn't make Titanic today and hope to get nominated, or Braveheart, or Amadeus. Apollo 13 was about a bunch of white people because white people have done some stuff. But somehow, without a production code, Hidden Figures got made and completed the historical record about how we got to the moon. Sinners this year is up for more Oscars than any movie ever. Sinners is good. It doesn't need affirmative action. Neither did Parasite or Shape of Water, where she
And that, in his framing, is the core of Maher's point, delivered like a final blow. Hollywood, he suggests, isn't simply broken. It's become skilled at performing the idea that it's broken. From activism to award season, from public speeches to emotional moments on stage, everything starts to feel staged, curated, and carefully managed for effect rather than authenticity. The argument is that audiences are increasingly noticing this disconnect and pulling away, not because they reject entertainment, but because they want something that feels real, genuine talent, honest storytelling, and less preaching from insulated celebrity spaces. In that sense, the gap between Hollywood and everyday viewers has widened into something far more severe than a misunderstanding. It's a breakdown of trust, whether one agrees or not. The critique lands on a simple idea. If Hollywood wants that connection back, it has to feel less like a performance about reality and more like reality itself.